Shalom, family. Kudash, Kudash, Kudash. Adonai, Elohim, Sabayah. Meaning holy, 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 Lord of hosts. Because we are the host of the Elohim. That's also the prayer that the angels sing day and night to the Most High, Anu Elionel. Angels are also known as etherical beings. They're created of an energy, essence, and consciousness, but they can also manifest and materialize on this physical plane. There are 72 angels of the agreeable order, and there are 72 angels of the dark side of things. But these entities, how you're able to summon them, call on them, or for help, some people do it for bad reasons, is because these 72 are within you. It's all about balance, you know. When the 72 and 72 come together, that's where you get 144 from. This 144 is activated inside of the elect ones, but we're going to elaborate more on that in a minute. Yah, He, Va, He. Those 4 syllables create the Hashem, meaning the name, as some people say Yahweh, some people say Yahuwah, some people say Yahweh, some people say Jehovah, because Jah is the English word for Yah. But those 4 syllables as a sound vibrational frequency from the Hebrew alphabet, they have their own attributes and meaning. The first Yah is a divine masculine, which signifies the Father who art in heaven, Abba, the architect of the universe. In heaven is a metaphor for head, or the upper room, where the crystals lie. Some people know in layman's term, you know, what we know in society as the pineal gland. You know, in other cultures it's called the third eye. But in this third eye, there's a crystallized particle. When activated, it activates the God particle, and that's how you obtain the Christ abilities. So the first Yah signifies the Father who art in heaven, which is a divine masculine architect of the universe. He is a divine feminine. It is Mother Earth, the womb of the earth, where mankind was created, shaped, molded, and formed from the soil. Soil. He breathed the life, a living soul. The breath of life is ether, you know, energy, essence. That's why there's plasma in your blood. That is your soul, your spirit, that divine spark of energy. The earth is 360 degrees. 3 and 6 make 9. It takes 9 months for a woman to have a baby, which is equivalent to 270 days. And with 2 and 7, it's also 9. So Va is the 6th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, which signifies us, mankind itself, man and woman as a collective whole. Because in the book of Genesis, it says, in the beginning, Elohim said, let us create them in our image. We know Elohim is plural, and it means more than one, but the key 2 words in that passage is us and our, signifying duality. So, the last Hey, it deals with the tree of life, which is a divine feminine as well. You know, the tree of life are the 10 sephirots of the Hebraic order of attributes of the Godhead. So, Chokmah means wisdom on the chart. Wisdom is always referred to as a her. Anna is the opposite of Abba, which means father. Anna means mother, so mother Chokmah. It's basically the spirits of the wind, the intuitive nature, which allows you to feel things out. And when you dig deep inside of yourself, the eternal essence, you know, wisdom reveals itself. to help guide you through this physical plane. As above, so below. The macro pro-surface above and the micro pro-surface below, because we are the microorganisms in the host of the Elohim. So today, I'm gonna be breaking down the concepts of the Bible. As we know, it's written in metaphors, allegories, parables, and figurative language, and a lot of times it's taken out of context. But I'm going to show you proof and facts of what these things actually really mean. So let me jump just right into it. Basically, we're going to start off right here at Revelation 7:1, and it says, God's people will be preserved. Then I saw 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth, holding back the 4 winds, so they did not blow on the earth or the sea or even any tree. And I saw another angel coming up from the east, carrying the seal of the living God. And he shouted to those 4 angels who had been given power to harm the land and sea. Wait, don't harm the land and sea, the trees, until we had placed the seal of God on the foreheads of his servants. You see that? Now, it says on the forehead, head, heaven, pineal gland, crystals. But I'm going to show you how this is metaphorically speaking. And then it goes, and I heard how many were marked with the seal of God. 144,000 were sealed from the tribes of Israel. Now, let's hold that right there for a minute. Israel. So, I was watching a video earlier. Somebody was talking about amen. I shouldn't say amen anymore because it deals with Amen Ra. But once you really get into it, Israel means, Isis means the generations of Isis, or the genealogy of Isis. Ra comes from Amin Ra, the sun, the equivalent, the central star in the solar system. And El is short for Elohim, the 7 Elohas, which correlate with the 7 days a week and the planetary bodies and their energy and their attributes. So, the generations of Isis. This is where it originated from. The genes of Isis. Dispersed genes of Isis throughout the world in the missionary campaign to unite humankind into a peaceful world family. We know Ra's son. Son is a very important key because it always refers in the Bible metaphorically as the Son of Man. If you look at it, it's not always S-O-N, it's S-U-N a lot of the times in these passages, and a lot of people miss that. And El, you know that El is the plural for the Elohim, you know? So, the 3 together, that's where you get Israel. Remember, they didn't become a nation until they left Egypt, which original name, it's Mitzrayim, the land of Chem. So, you gotta think about this. Moses, he had a high position within the Egyptian culture, you know. Majority of all the things that he learned all of these things, the magical aspect or the magnetic aspect from them, you know, and everything else that was an intuitive, you know, it came from Anachokma, which was his guidance, you know. That's why when he went up on the mountain, he said, they said, what is the name of God? He said, I am that I am. You know, he couldn't explain that because he was talking about the eternal essence dealing with him through the elements. So back to this. He said, God, and I heard how many were marked with the seal of God. 144,000 were sealed from all the tribes of Israel, from Judah 12,000, from Reuben 12,000, from Gad 12,000, from Asher 12,000, from Nephtali 12,000, from Manasseh 12,000, from Simeon 12,000, from Levi 12,000, from Issachar 12,000, from Ulan, 12,000. From Joseph, 12,000. From Benjamin, 12,000. So what does this seal actually really mean? So we about to go into the secret book of wisdom, the prophetic record of human destiny and evolution. As I told y'all in the last previous videos, this has allowed me to decipher the Bible. So let's look up what a seal actually is. What is it talking about, this seal? Until we mark them with this seal. Do not harm the earth until they are sealed. So we're going to see what this seal is right here. Alright. Seal, a special sign on the forehead, invisible to the physical eyes, which in accordance with cosmic laws determine the belonging of man to corresponding spheres, irrepressibly drawing him into their field of attraction. Also on the brow of one who has gone through an initiation may be seen the lighthouse of eternity flaring. Their signs of particular color indicate a level of spirituality and are usually represented as a shining star, but may take the form of some other symbol. To a lilac-colored star, for example, is a sign of a very high achievement. Extraterrestrial technocrat civilizations which study man and his structure will never touch a man with a sign on his forehead indicating that he is following a spiritual path. They deal with the so-called biomass. People have not yet made any kind of definite choice. The cosmic law allows aliens to conduct all kinds of experiments with nobodies. Peoples like these, they might be taken aboard UFOs for research on their physical organs, such like, and hence this sign also designates personal inviolability. So it says alien. Alien just means something foreign from this origin of creation, but it's all God's creation. They all have their specific names and their specific title. Just like if you go, a foreigner comes over here to America, it say, are you an alien, legal alien, you know, just somebody that's not from these parts. So now talking about that, as far as that goes, now we all heard about Adam and Eve and the serpent in the garden. Everybody actually thinks this is a physical snake, just like they think that it was an apple on a tree, you know, the tree of knowledge. So this serpent was not a snake. Now I'm going to show you this right here out of the Apocalypse of Abraham. Now this is what it tells you right here. He said, and I looked into the picture, and my eyes ran from side to side of the Garden of Eden. So he's talking about this. This is what happened. Remember, he fasted 40 days, 40 nights in the Bible, and it says that the angel of the Lord came and took him up. So this breaks all that part of the Bible down. So at this point, they took him up into heaven, and they showing him all these different things. And I looked into the picture, and my eyes ran to the side of the Garden of Eden. So he's going back in time. They're seeing stuff from the beginning, and they also showing them stuff that will happen in the end in the future generation. And I saw there a man very great in height and fearful in breadth, incomparable in aspect, embracing a woman who likewise approximate it to the aspect of the shape of a man. And they were standing under a tree of the Garden of Eden, and the fruit of this tree was like the appearance of a bunch of grapes on the vine. So when you go into these liquor stores and other places they sell alcoholic beverages, you'll see wines that say that forbidden fruit. Now let's just keep going. He said, and the fruit of this tree was like the appearance of a bunch of grapes of the vine. And behind the tree was standing at it were a serpent in form, having hands and feet like a man, and wings on its shoulders, 6 on the right side and 6 on the left side. They were holding the grapes of the tree in their hands, and both were eating it, whom I had seen embracing. And I said, who are these mutually embracing, and who is this between them, or what is the fruit in which they are eating? Almighty, eternal, see, saying eternal one. He said, this is the human world. This is Adam, and this is Adam, and this is their desire upon the earth. This is Eve. But he who is between them representeth ungodliness. Their beginning on the way to perdition, even Azazel. And I said, O eternal mighty one, talking about the El Shaddai, why hast thou given so much power to destroy the generation of men and their works upon the earth? And he said to me, who will do evil, and how much I hated it, and those who do it, over them I gave him power, and to be beloved of them. So, it's telling you, this serpent, he had hands, feet, stood up. He said he had 6 wings on one side. Let's see if that's what he said again. He said he had 6 on the right and 6 on the left in form, having hands and feet, standing there. So when you break this down, it's talking about a reptilian. Reptilian, you see all these TikToks about them. It talks about them coming from the Draco constellation. People say they've been spotting them all around. Some people say that they're the ones that give the governments the technology and allow certain people to be in higher power. And this goes into all the trafficking stuff. And with little kids and babies and stuff. Because it's the thing, once you scare somebody to a certain point, adrenochrome produces. And these people, they actually drink blood, and they use these things in their sacrifices, and it's all part of the ritual of the reptilian. And this reptilian name is Halal. And I learned all of this through the Holy Tablets. Now let's keep going furthermore. See, God said when he makes a new covenant with us, once we come out of our captivity after the awakening process, he will write a new law on our hearts and conscience. Not on a tablet of stone, not on a papyrus, not on a piece of paper. He said it's going to be on your heart, meaning it's going to be on your eternal essence, your DNA, encoded in your DNA. And let me show you why that is key, what this heart really means. Once you go into the secret book of wisdom, right here. So it's just to show you how the Bible talks in metaphors, allegories, parables, and figurative language. Right here it says, heart, the most important organ in man, the centre of spiritual consciousness. It is a mover, producer, collector of fiery might. The heart is the concentration of the energies of fire, always pulsating in man, on the tonality of which his state of being completely depends. The structure of the heart is sevenfold. Each of man's 7 bodies has its own heart. The physical, the subtile, and so on. The highest of which is the fiery heart. During a person's life on earth, they are united with their physical heart. The heart is the focal point in all human bodies, from the densest organ to the supreme triad. The whole experience of previous lives, all abilities and knowledge, inaccessible to the brain, which lives only one life, are concentrated in the spiritual fiery heart called the chalice. The heart remains a man's inalienable property throughout all his incarnations, since only its physical covering is mortal, while its fiery essence is immortal. The heart thinks just like the brain, only in its own way. The logic of the heart works through fiery channels, sometimes which no time being required. The heart just knows without a tedious or torturous being required. The heart just knows without a tedious or tortuous process of reflection. The words of the heart always harbor extreme simplicity along with profoundness, wisdom, and selflessness. The voice of conscience is the voice of the heart. No, the voice of conscience is the voice of the heart, which sounds especially clear when all else is silent. The heart owns all energy, which is not subordinate to the brain. For example, thoughts sent by the brain are brief and ineffective and immediately self-exhausting, whereas thoughts from the heart know no obstacles, distant or time. Many mysteries are hidden in the heart, and these will be revealed by the science of the future. A scientist who knows the secret of numbers is comparing mystic knowledge with the knowledge of science, which makes significant discoveries in the domain of cardiology. For example, blood flows through the greater circulation in 22 seconds on average, and through the lesser circulation in 5 to 6 seconds. Matching the numbers that indicate rounds and races, one can trace signs of a person's racial identity in the operation of the heart. The heart is designed to love, for love is the mission of the heart. One who loves attracts, assimilates the highest vibrations through the heart. But not everyone is capable of accepting the fire, since not everyone's flesh can endure the divine currents. The first transmutes that which is able to evolve, while that which cannot evolve is destroyed. Just like I said what this sun is about to do. Let's say that again. The first transmute which that is able to evolve, it evolves. And while that which cannot evolve is destroyed. Therefore, cardiovascular diseases are more prevalent than others, especially in our age. For the era of fire which has already begun is the era of the heart. Now, when we deal with chakras, there's 7 chakras. 7 is a divine number. We can go on and on about it. But, the root chakra is red. It deals with survival and security. The next chakra is the sacral chakra, which is orange. It deals with passion and creativity. That's their gut. And then the next chakra is the solar plex chakra, and it deals with, that's your sun within. That deals with personal power and confidence. Then the next chakra is the heart chakra, which is green. Why is it green? The heart pumps blood, right? I told you it's plasma in the blood, right? And when you translate plasma, you get ether, right? So, you ever looked at the northern lights in the North Pole, when you see these green lights all over and covering the sky? That's ether. That's why the aurora borealis is green. The heart, that natural pure plasma, the ethereal being from within. Next chakra is the throat chakra, which is blue. It deals with communications, wrath or kindness. There's life and death in the power of the tongue. The next chakra is indigo. Indigo deals with the third eye. The third eye deals with the pineal gland. The pineal gland deals with the crystals. So this the intuitive nature. So this is the eternal essence. That's what intuitive means. It's the eternal aspect speaking to you through feeling, you know. You can't actually see it with your physical eyes, but you're alerted from within. And then the next chakra is violet. That is the highest color in the light spectrum, and it deals with spirituality, raising the consciousness, because it's in the upper room, the head. That's why you see these halos depicted over angels, you know, the light, that ascension. When you go into the tree of life, it says up here it's Kether, crown, ether, Kether, ether, upper room. So I'm telling you some real stuff. And then the numbers, they don't lie as well. Like 9 is the number of perfection, which sums up the will of Yah. 7 is used 119 times in the Bible. Sevenfold is used 6 times. 7 used 860 times in the Bible. 8 means new beginnings. The 8th day, new beginning of the first day of a week. 8 is incoming planetary energy. Now listen to this. What year are we in? 2024, which equals 8. Now, I'm going to show you how these metaphors work. This is the signs of the time. Signs of the time. 888 equals Christ the Redeemer. We are in the year 2024. And it adds up to 8. Now, I'm going to show you how this even gets more deep. The signs of the times. The signs of the times. The signs of the time. Now, hold on. Give me a second. 1 second. I'll write that down now. Give me 1 second, everybody. Maybe I put it in my other book. Just give me a second. Alright. Signs of the times. This is how deep it gets. Oh, just give me 1 second. I gotta do something real quick. I gotta grab something. Alright, I'm back, y'all. I'm back. Right here. Now, I'm going to show y'all what these meanings of things really mean. So right here, Matthew 16:4. So I'm going to tell you how this works. You remember, and what was that? Was it Genesis 15 or whatever? Well, when it talked about Abraham and the Most High telling him your descendants will be a stranger in a foreign land, or basically through the separation to the four corners of the earth, by a nation that will have no regard for the young or the old. And he said they will serve 400 years in this generation. So if we go back into history, which means his story, you know, in 1619 project, this is when a lot of things started to occur and begin with our people. See, when ex-President Trump was in office, or was it it was in 2019, they signed this bill called the H.R. 40 Bill, Acknowledgement of African Americans being in this land mass for 400 years. So why exactly around the 219 mark, you know, the jab started? And you know what that spells backwards. David. And once you translate David, it means demon possession, because it is altering something within you. It's basically putting a nanotechnology in you, because they know we're in the time of the solar flash, where the DNA is going to be uplifted and unlocked by the sun when it produces the CME, the coronal mass ejection, at the highest class X flare, which is going to unlock the X chromosome. So we're going to keep getting into this X, because check it out. Back to what I was saying. Yeah, I'm trying to find the Apocalypse of Abraham. Yeah, right around that time when all of that was happening. See, the Most High already said these are the plagues that are going to come about in this specific time. And he said the punishments of the heathen and the ingathering of Israel. He said to me, what is desired in thine heart? And I will tell thee, because thou hast sought to see the 10 plagues which I had prepared for the heathen, and had prepared beforehand at the passing of the 12th hour of earth. Hear what I deluge to thee, so shall it come to pass. The first is painness and sickness and great distress. And has that not happened in that specific exact timeline? That was just the beginning of the sorrows. The next one is, the second is conflagration of cities. Conflagration of cities means fire of cities. You see what's been happening in Canada. You see what's happening in Maui over there in Hawaii. You see what's happening all throughout California. You see that these fires are ramping up. A lot of farmland is being burnt up, and so on and so on. Now, let's keep going. That is the second one. The third one is destruction and pestilence of animals. So it's basically telling you that certain pestilence and certain things are going to be released, you know. So a lot of the stuff you're getting from your supermarkets is going to be sick. It's going to be so much stuff. That's why a lot of these people's animals are dying on these farms. They're spraying the plants with all these chemicals. They raiding Amish farms in Pennsylvania, because anything that is organic, that is not tampered with, you know, you see how they reverse everything. Anything that's good, they demonize as bad, and what's bad, you know, they demonize as good. It's a great deception from Satan, known as Nata, Satan backwards in the Holy Tablets, also known as the reptilian halal, which we read in here. So the next one is the fourth, is hunger of the whole world and of its people. What did Matthew 24 say? You will hear wars, rumors of wars, nations rising against nations, famines. So it's all correlating. You know why? Because why do you think all these bioengineered ingredients or genetically modified things are being produced coincidentally right at this time? Why do you think it's fluoride in the water, you know? But it's supposed to be good for you, you know? Because that lowers your frequency, and they don't want certain people to be in the God consciousness. This whole point of this concept was to crucify the Christ within you. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. Crucify the Christ within you. But just like I said, you will lie dead in the market street for 3.5 days. When did the Messiah ride? Metaphorically speaking, he was 33 years old. So that means he raptured up through down the spine, up them chakras, and he unlocked that specific consciousness. He was the forerunner for it. And it literally, it said he rose in 3 days, which is 72 hours. 7 and 2. What does that make again? 9. The completion of a cycle. Just to show you furthermore of more about what this 9 is all about. The Messiah also died on the 9th hour, and it said that he died at 3 p.m. So once you get into these specific numbers or gematria, you know, you understand the significance of 3, 6, and 9. 9 is the last and the highest number. Anything after that, it's a reset. That's why you put a 1 in front of a 0 after 9, because it's actually going back to 1. And then you put a a 1 and a 2, you know. But I'm gonna tell you another secret about 9. You times 9 by any number, it's always gonna come back to 9. 9 plus 9 is 18, but 9 times 9 is 18. But when you put 8 and 1, what do you get? 9. So 9 times 3, let's say 9, 3, 18, 27. What do you get? 9. And it goes on and on. You can try this yourself and just add the numbers up. It's very key. Numbers are a significant role. And it said the next one was, the fourth one is hunger of the whole world and of its people. Like it talks about the famines in Matthew 24. And if you pay attention to the signs of the time, you'll see why they're doing all these specific things. It said the fifth is destruction amongst rulers, destruction by earthquakes and the sword. What did Matthew 24 say as well? It says it be wars, rumors of wars, nations rising against nations, famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. Earthquake is another metaphor for weather in places it doesn't normally happen, which they will call global warming. But just like you've seen, the angel that poured his vial out upon the sun, and another one was to stir up the waters. So what you're seeing is the sun is in solar maximum. This is where these solar flares are coming from. This is why you see all this stuff in the sky trying to block it out, because there are crafts, chariots going in and out of the sun on a daily basis. And there's another one that just entered into our atmosphere that has a geomagnetic pull, and it's so strong it's what causes the poles to shift. You know, you ever heard of Pangea, when all the continents was once together but then they separated? But in the Bible it'll tell you about wormwood and casting a third of the stars to the earth. You know, on April 8th, as this eclipse is happening, they said there is a comet and a meteorite that you will be able to see with your own eyes in the atmosphere. But in 2017, you know, the first sign was the August 21st eclipse, and then September of 2017, you had the, you know, Revelation 12 constellation signs in the sky. And then in October 2017, this is when this mysterious rock or craft, cigar-shaped thing that they call Oumuamua popped into the atmosphere. Now, let's keep going. Stick with me, because you know I know how to multitask, and I know how to juggle. That's one of the attributes of a Virgo. They are good jugglers. So the sixth is multiplication of hail and snow. Haven't we been seeing that everywhere? Hail and snow in places it doesn't normally happen. Earthquakes in diverse places. It says the seventh, and wild beasts will be their grave. Wild beasts will be their grave, because there are animals coming out of the woodworks. These people are poachers. They go down, they destroy everything on the planet that is natural. They have to alter it. That's what sorcery is. Sorcery comes from the Greek word pharmakia. Pharmakia, it basically it's going into medicine. It's where you get pharmacy from. The medicines they use are not the natural herbs that the Most High said take heed in for the healings of the nations. No, they take unnatural compounds and they combine them together, and they make psych drugs. They make all this stuff. They got stuff that can enhance you, uplift you, you know, make you real wired and alert. And you got other stuff they dumb you down with, you know, like they do to the people that know things that are abnormal, but they tell them that they're crazy, but it's really opposite. Crazy is actually normal, you know. You have to be not of this world, and you can't be following the collective whole, because by doing that you're worshiping the creature more than the creator, because you put all your trust into man. You seek all the answers for man. People can go to college for 10 years and they won't know half of the stuff I know. Your best pastor, your best preacher, they cannot decipher the things I can, because this is the eternal essence. The spirit guides you, and the spirit will tell you everything you need to know. All you have to do is follow the consistency and pattern. Now let's keep going. It says the 8th, hunger and pestilence will alternate with their destruction. The ninth, punishment by the sword in flight and distress. What did it say in the book of Matthew? It says, pray that their flights shall not be on the Sabbath. But if you notice lately in this last 7-year period from 2007 and 24, how many plane crashes done happened? How many planes just dropped or helicopters just fell out the sky? You know why the Most High is saying that? I'm going to tell you what the secret is, the metaphor is, you know. I'm very spiritually gifted to be able to do this, and I'm thankful and grateful to the Most High. But you know what's happening? If there's a pole shift going on, the earth is made up of ley lines, grids, energy fields. That's where a lot of the holy sites are on and supernatural stuff happens. Just like the Bermuda Triangle, the magnetic pull. You know, it causes the compass to go haywire and they lose sight of direction. Normally they get sucked up in clouds and other things. But what it does is anything that's electrical on the planet, it's going to start to malfunction. So the stuff that they're using up there on these planes, it's going to be a lot of plane crashes and there's going to be a lot of these things falling out the sky. So the Most High would not say that in the Apocalypse of Abraham, and he would not say that in the book of Matthew 24. These are the consistencies and patterns I'm talking about. This are things people take out of context. You know, go get your best. See, like these camps and these other Israelite specific groups, you know, that's why I call myself a spiritualite. I know my heritage, I know I'm connected, but there's a great divide between our communities, you know. Many are called, few are chosen, and everybody is not going to make it, but everybody has their due diligence and piece to the puzzle, so everything is not going to be the same, you know, but the collective whole, the main thing to know is who you are as a person, to know you are special, you are set apart people above all people, you know. All nations get their blessings from clinging to you, your eternal essence, because you are the manifestation in the image of God on this planet. You are a Christ. You know, that's why Christ said you'll be able to do the things in which I have and even work greater wonders. I am in the Father and the Father is in me. Eternal. Tap into the God particle. The rapture just means you coming from one low state where a veil is on you to the upper room where the veil is being uplifted. Now you see with that spiritual eye. It talks about that in the Bible as well. The next one is, the 10th one is thunder and voices and destructive earthquakes. Well, now we're going to go back to this eclipse. This eclipse right here. This is about to get very spiritual, right? This eclipse. Now let's read this right here. Matthew 16:4. A wicked and adulterous nation seeketh after a sign, and there shall not be a sign given unto it but the sign of the prophet Jonah. And he left, then departed. So what is it saying here? A wicked nation. So it's talking about a future time. Now this eclipse right here. Remember we were just talking about earthquakes, fires everywhere, you know, tsunamis in some places. I just read about an earthquake today, you know. It's mass killing over there on the other side of the world and over here. They just do it very deceptive over here, and they don't spotlight it like they do other countries, you know. They throw dirt in everybody else's eye, but they don't see their own dirt in their eye. This nation is built on manipulation, psychology, and scandalism. It's the most deceptivest thing. What you think NASA means? It means deception, to deceive, you know? So, now, in this eclipse, it's going through Pacific land masses. Remember I was telling you about ley lines. These ley lines are in Pacific fault lines that are going to activate Pacific things. Remember I told you that the sun, when it's in solar maximum, it happened in the 1800s before. Everybody lost their power. Communications was cut off. and start messing with any electrical device. So if it's going over specific exact fault lines that will activate these things. They're literally closing schools down. They bringing the National Guard out. They're telling people prepare 3 days in advance and get your food and all this stuff ready. They're telling you things in so many words, because they have to tell you. That is one of the cosmic laws of the universe. They might not tell you outright, but they put it in movies, they put it in plain sight. But the key is to have you distracted and give you an illusion so you don't look there, So, now, back to this. What Matthew 16:4 said, a wicked and adulterous nation seeketh after a sign, and there shall not be one given unto it but the sign of the prophet Jonah, and he left and departed. Why is this so significant? Now, let's go into it. Let's talk about it. Do you know? I know I said this before in the other video. This eclipse is going through 7 cities that we know of called Nineveh. One of these cities is called Nineveh, Texas, Nineveh, Missouri, Nineveh, Indiana, Nineveh, Ohio, Nineveh, Pennsylvania, Nineveh, Virginia, and Nineveh, New York. But there is an extra one called Nova Scotia. I don't know where that's at, but I found that in my research. And if that would make 8 places, guess what? 2024 equals 8. And that translates in Mantra as Christ the Redeemer. So, let's go to the sign. And it's telling you about this nation shall seek after a sign. But the only sign they will get is the sign of Jonah. You know that it's going through another city called Jonah in Texas. And it's a city in Texas called Nineveh it's going through. It's also going through a place in southern Illinois that lays at the confluence of Ohio and Mississippi River, and low-lying and prone to annual time spring floods. What a coinky dink. This place is called Cairo, Illinois, also known as Little Egypt. And also, when this eclipse is happening, going through these cities called Nineveh, Jonah, the Ark, and Cairo, Little Egypt, it's going to be in a constellation called Cetus. Cetus means well. Can't make this up. Now, to show you, that will only be the sign that they would be given. Let's see if my laptop plays, because I want to show y'all something. My laptop. Now, as we know, hold on, give me a second. Stick with me. Stick with me here. Now, bang. Right here. I don't know if y'all can see these, but one of these right here. Let's go to this one. As you can see right there, you see how this makes like a X, an A, because the X is actually the 2017 path. This one going up here is actually the 2024 one. This one right here is one called the Ring of Fire. It happened in October 2023. 2024 is also called the Year of the Dragon on the Chinese chart. And where the concept came from, once you look it up in the Strongs, it says fiery dragon that produces eclipse. So people are like, oh, eclipses ain't bad. Now I'm going to show you another thing. Now, I have the 6th and 7th book of Moses, right? Now check this out. Now I'm going to tell you what it says in the 6th and 7th book of Moses. My pages all fell out and all this other stuff, but I wrote about this before. I did a video on this. It's on my channel. That's one of my highest watched videos. So right here. All right, and this chapter deals with the astrological influence upon men. And right here it says, the conjunction of planets, eclipse of the sun and the moon exercise a great influence upon vegetables and upon man. Like you seen in the video the other day, it was talking about solar flares, Pacific, the sun eclipse, and has an effect on all the human nervous system. It said the conjunction of the planets, eclipse of the sun and moon exercise a great influence upon vegetables and upon man. Samuel teaches when the spring equinox happens upon the hour of Jupiter, the strength of the fruit tree will be broken. Should the winter solstice fall upon the hour of Jupiter, then the grain will wither. But with this new moon, which one starts tonight, going into this, well, it's a lunar eclipse happened tonight, matter of fact. But I'm going to tell y'all more about that in a minute. In the time span between the total solar eclipse and this lunar eclipse, and how this already happened in another time and the events that follow. And it says, the strength of the fruit trees will be broken should the winter solstice fall upon the hour of Jupiter. Then the grain will wither. But with this, the new moon must also fall upon the hour of Jupiter or the moon. The first hour of Saturday evening between 6 and 7 o'clock is that of Mercury. The second is that of the moon. The third, that of Saturn. The fourth, that of Jupiter. The fifth, that of Mars. The sixth, that of the sun. The seventh, that of Venus. Now watch this. The eighth hour again is that of Mercury. Mercury is actually my planet, and Mercury is very key to everything. This is what this holy pinnacle is. It's a pinnacle of Mercury. And you always hear about the stuff that they say it has an effect on the planet when Mercury is in retrograde. And it says the eighth hour again is that in Mercury because it's going back to the reset. Just like you got the 7 days of the week, the eighth day would be the new week of the Monday, but it's actually start back at 1. So the same it does with the planetary cycles as they go around. Now it says, Rabbi teaches that an eclipse of the sun is an evil sign for all people. Listen to that again. The rabbi teach that an eclipse of the sun is an evil sign for all people. I don't know if you can see that right there. It says the eclipse of the sun is an evil sign for all people. Right there. So, the eclipse, meaning judgment. You seen what he said to Joan? He said for the evil nation. So people's like, well, how could this be our nation all of a sudden? Well, he gave you another metaphor. He said it was Mystery Babylon, spiritual Sodom and Egypt. What did the city of Sodom get destroyed for doing? And what are they pushing on the public and telling our children that it is okay to do? Remember I told you, anything that is unnatural to the natural laws of nature, they go against it. This is the Antichrist at its best. The Antichrist is not one individual. Antichrist just means anti-God. They're not for you becoming aware, reaching your higher self, being independent, self-sufficient. Anything that has to do with righteousness or agreeable in nature, they go against it. And you can see this all over the news on a daily basis. Just watch the pattern. I am not lying. I can't make this up. They're anti-God. So the actual eclipse, once you see that sign, the one going this way and the one going that way and the one going there, that is a sigil of the Antichrist, because that's a mark telling you this is that anti-God people that are controlling the world. It says spiritual Sodom in Egypt, Egypt bondage, the systemic racism, the blackballing people, all the blood that was shed. I told you, once the blood hit the soil, they cried out to the Most High day and night, when are you going to revenge our blood that was dropped? When blood hits the soil, it has an effect, an energetic effect. When it hits a stone, any natural element and mineral of the earth, it is going to affect. So, as you see in the 6th and 7th book of Moses, it's telling you about eclipse is an omen of doom, and it tells you for all people. So it's a judgment and salvation. Earthquakes in diverse places, and in the Apocalypse of Abraham, it tells you how these, judgments will alternate between each other. And it tells you that it brings up earthquakes again, and play that in your flight. Watch your flight, because the geomagnetic pull from the pole shift from the sun, which they trying to ignorantly call global warming. But this is the Most High at work. His hand is in full effect. And believe it or not, when you go into the Hebrew Sephiroth, the tree of life, the left pillar is judgment. It deals with the divine feminine. So he's basically telling you, if Mother Earth, the womb of the earth where mankind was created, shaped, and formed, that's where the judgment is. Matter of fact, I think I might got the book right here and I can show you. Let me see. Ooh, hold on. Give me a second. Come on, man. Come on, man. Is it in this book or is it in the Zohar? Come on. Listen, this boy's sharp. I'm telling you. Really, very sharp. I know exactly what I'm talking about. That's why the Most High tell you to study till you show yourself approved. People think, oh, you got to go congregate in a church. The Most High said, you are the temple. The church is in you. It's good you can congregate and gather with people. Yeah, that's all fine and dandy. But nobody said you had to go to church on, Sunday is considered the first day of the week. Some people said it came from sun worship. But now I've done so much research, nobody was actually worshiping the sun. The sun is the sustainer of life. So once you go into gratitude magic, you just tell the elements, the trees, the sun, that you're grateful for rising and shining your light upon us. You thank the moon for giving its light at the night. You respect nature. You talk to nature. They'll make you think that something like that is crazy. But like I was saying, I can't find it in there. But the left pillar of the Godhead deals with the divine feminine, and the woman is the one that brings the judgment. You know why she's probably bringing the judgment? Because the pollution and them harming the earth. That's why the sun has to heat up and send these rays down there, this plasma, these CMEs at a higher rate, because if it was up to them, they would destroy everything. That's why the Most High say, if it wasn't for his elect, he had to cut the time short for the elect's sake. These 144,000 are going to be activated. Now, talking about Mother Earth and the soil. The soil is key. That's why you see in Africa, they walk around with their feet in the dirt, barefoot in a lot of places. It's good to put your feet in the dirt because the earth has natural currents. I have a lot of copper. See, look. This is why you see me with so much copper. You see me with crystals, other stuff, because these are natural elements. That's why you see copper fit bracelets. The copper fit socks, because it helps the blood circulate. You put copper around your wrist, it'll help the blood circulate, It's very key these things, Every lie has a little bit of truth in it. You have to decode, decipher, so you're not deceived. So, what else did I want to touch on before I get out of here? This video has been at an hour. And like I told y'all before, there are 7 planetary bodies. One is called Shabbatai. It correlates with Saturn. Saturn is where you get Saturday from. Shabbatai, Shabbat, Saturn, Saturday. The next one is Tezadek, which is Jupiter. The next one is Madem, which is Mars. The next one, which is Nogab, which is Venus. The next one is Kokab, which is Mercury. The next one is Shamesh, the sun. The next one is Lavana, the moon. So now, let's get into Shamesh. Shamesh being the sun. The original name for Africa was Ethiopia during the reign of Azana in the 4th century after the kingdom of Kush. So, once you translate Ethiopia, you get the Ether people. The Ether people means people of the sun. Now, you see why the sun is a vital role? Now, once you go into the secret apocryphal books and you learn about Shamash, like, guess what? Where do you think Shem concept came from? Shem, the bloodlines of Shem, the children of the sun, the children of the light. Why do you think once you translate Samson's name, this is what you get? Let's see. Son, child. Son, child. So, Ben in Hebrew is not when you call son. Benehe Elohim means the sons of the God. Sons of God. So in Psalms 82, it's going to tell you, ye are all gods and children of the Most High, because I am in the Father and the Father is in me. No one comes to the Father but me, the God particle, higher self, Christos. That's why the Christ is a title. The Messiah, meaning the anointed one. Hamashiach. Yahshua, Yahawashah, Yahoshua is what you really say. It means he is salvation, salvation of Yah. You become the salvation when you become a disciple and become disciplined in the law. And the new law, because everybody couldn't keep up with it, so, trying to your best ability, because a new one is going to be written on your heart and consciousness. As we read what heart meant, the new earth is coming. I mean, the heaven is coming to earth, but it will be a new earth because it will be a separation between the 3D and 5D dimensions, So you're going to start seeing things that you don't normally see. That's why I tell people, drink your electrolytes, your alkaline water, Start substituting certain meats that you know that they might tamper with fish. Because fish are not land mammals. They come from the sea where there is salt. Salt is the natural thing that creates electrolytes. They say salt gives you high blood pressure. Stay away from it. But let something happen to you. You go to a hospital. They're going to put you onto an IV. And you know what an IV? It's just saline water. Salt. Yeah. Why do you think the Dead Sea is the way it is? Because it's the Dead Sea salts that's in there. That's why I bathe in Dead Sea salt. I make my own soap with Dead Sea salt. Even if you don't have enough to get you a nice purified filter, a mineral filter, which I have one. Start filling up water bottles with that. Put alkaline drops in there. And if you don't have alkaline drops, get a pinch of salt. Not that idle whatever table salt. You need sea salt or pink Himalayan salt. Just put a drop, or you can put a drop on your tongue. Heal yourself. Start eating lemons on an empty stomach. Take a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in the morning. Drink plenty of water. Start taking turmeric. Start taking ginger, garlic, Garlic is full of natural antioxidants. It's used as a natural antibiotic. Turmeric is anti-inflammatory. It kills cancerous cells. Take back what is yours. Elderberry syrup. It boosts the immune system. Burdock root. It helps cleanse the blood. Ginger, it actually makes the blood circulate, as well as iron. Iron restores the blood cells. So the key is, I'm telling you right now, the lunar eclipse tonight. Start tonight. Just change your diet up. You don't have to go on a fast. A fast is just mean you're obtaining from something that is your daily norm. So if you're eating this, and that on this specific day, just eat something different. Eat something more healthier. Drink water from now until April 4th. April 8th if you want, you know. Just start getting your body prepared for this new influx of energy that is coming in. Please. Please. And if you guys have any questions, you want to know more in depth about the health side of things, it's like I really get into it. Like right here, I got the herbal encyclopedia, shows me how to identify plants. You know, right here I got the Dr. Sabi book that basically teach you about the Pacific foods and how to make natural medicine. Here I got the Native American holistic Bible. And you know, just over the years, you know, before I even had books and all this other stuff, I'm gonna show you. I hope I touched on everything, and I hope that this video was edifying for everybody, you know. But I can just show you alone right here. See right here, I started making medicine years ago, and I started doing a lot of research to what works, how it works. I know how to make stuff for rest, digestion system, antioxidants, antibiotic healing, cough and cold, throat. I can tell you what specific minerals to use, what to use for high blood pressure, diabetics, pain, joints, erectile dysfunctions, and fertility, weight loss, appetite, detox, swelling, cancer. And I'm telling you what's good for cancer, and you got it right there in your cabinet. But I'm telling you, for these things to work for you properly, you do have to change your diet, you know? And you have to exercise to get the blood flowing. You don't have to do massive exercise, but just enough to get the blood flowing. For cancer, turmeric, I already told you that, ginger, cayenne pepper, sulfane, oregano, garlic. And the key is, see, what we was taught by a lot of medical physicians and doctors, they say, oh, don't take this medicine until you ate a full meal on a full stomach. No, the key is when you wake up and you break fast with breakfast, you take these herbs on an empty stomach. And because all the toxins from the other stuff, your blood is going to, your stomach's already eating at itself. It's going to eventually start. It might not as soon as you wake up. But if you put that in your body, it's going straight to your blood. Because that's what it's eating at. And it's going to fill the blood. So then when you finally do eat, you know, it's going to extract all the stuff that you need out of the food, you know. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's about how you take these things, you know. I got stuff that help with AIDS. And Munio, Sarah, Kangara herbs, macaroon, horny goat weed, green cell foods, diet, and fasting. It'll heal it. See, I'm not a doctor, you know. Anything I tell you, make sure you look it up for yourself, you know. And it's very key. It's like, I got stuff for withdrawal and people that's sick, bones, teeth, cleaning, acne, hair, balance, earaches, migraines, periods, cramps, low iron, your eyesight. Trust me, for any man-made disease or anything that affects you, the Most High, Mother Nature, hey, put something here for you to reverse that. That's the power you have. That's why when you see certain herb stuff, they be like, oh, the witchcraft. See, they always put a name or something like that on it to deter you from something. they use herbs. They use herbs in their specific rituals because these herbs are very key, you know, putting specific herbs under your pillow, or writing a specific note on a herb and then burning it in a candle, or carving something into the candle, because fire is key. Anything of the four elements. You can use water, you can use fire, you can use, you know, earth. Sometimes you can bury stuff in the earth, you know, under a new moon or Pacific constellation. I don't see how people take these things out of context, because this is what our ancestors always used to do. You can read out the Bible. Every time the Israelites perform some type of miracle, guess what? They use one of these specific concepts in ritual. Whether it's parting the water, doing anything, you know, casting demons out. It's always been done from the beginning of time. Well, let me see if there's anything else I needed to touch on, because I wrote a lot of stuff down. I try to shorten up the videos, because I know a lot of people, they don't be watching the whole videos through. But it's key. Like, if you really want to be spiritually woke, you got to really pay attention, take notes, listen, ask questions, you know. I'm not one of them people that got all these thousands and thousands of followers. My group is just a couple hundred, you know. Y'all can easily reach out. Y'all want my email address, you know, hit me up through email. If you need to talk further, then we can exchange numbers or something. You get what I'm saying? You know, we just go from there. You know, we could video chat on one of these specific platforms if need be, you know. I can give you my Facebook. We can talk on there, you know. But we got to start working together as a collective consciousness. This is us being risen from the dead, lying dead in that street for 3.5 days, you know. 2 witnesses. It's also a metaphor for the 2 olive branches. It's also a metaphor for the nation, us. We are the spiritual lights. 9 ether being. When our hair get wet, it curls up into a 9. You know? That's why Samson, he had exactly 7 dreads. That was the key to his power, because those was his antenna. You know? These dreads, these locks, it tells you all about them in the book, you know? But I'm going to end this right here. Y'all bless, you know. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Please share, you know. Ashe, ta sa, mim ta salah. Peace and blessings.